Welcome back to my channel for my January plan with me. If you're new here, I primarily have been posting bullet journal and stationery content, and yeah, so let's just get into it. You'll see that this is not the collab with Amanda Rachel Lee and Archer and Olive, but these are the supplies that I gathered that I wanted to use in this month's setup. You'll see it's pretty black and white and gray, and that's going to be the color palette for this month. I've actually started to put the supplies that I know I'm going to use for that theme into this container. It's really nice just to have everything all together, and then once I'm going to set up the new month and theme, it's all ready to go. You'll see I've already traced out everything, which is, I always do that because I need a pre-plan. You'll see I'm going to make a bunch of mistakes in this video. This month I'm utilizing some black paper. You'll see I have this Archer and Olive, I think they call it a Neapolitan notebook. It has white dot grid paper, craft paper, and black paper. You'll see I've used a lot of the craft paper, so I really wanted to start using some of the black. I don't know if they sell this notepad anymore. I haven't seen it in a while, but I hope they bring it back. It's so useful. And I'm primarily going to be using black and white and metallic, so you saw that gold and silver gel pen. This month's theme is a firework theme. You know, it's a new year. New Year is always about like black and white and metallics and glitter and fireworks. So I just want to kind of bring that all together as a way to kickstart this new year. You'll see this is the gold gel pen. It's harder to see on camera, unfortunately, but it actually looks really nice in person. I did end up posting this video a little late. I wasn't feeling well, so I just didn't get a chance to post it and set it up earlier. But moving forward, I'll be posting videos every 2 weeks. Now I'm going in with the silver gel pen. I'm not totally sure where I got these gel pens from. They're old. They're sitting around in my house. I might have gotten them from my sister, as with a lot of my supplies. But if I do find who made it, I'll link it below. I do think the silver one actually shows up better, but that's because it's just metallic and not glittery like the gold one. Then I took a white gel pen. This is a Sakura Jelly Roll pen, and you know those are always good. This shows up so well on black paper, or craft paper actually too, but it shows up really well. I have these in 3 sizes, in 5, 8, and 10, so I have the option of choosing whatever thickness I feel like. I didn't really pick a specific font, just kind of wanted to make it look serif-y, and I realized I always pick a serif font. I need to change it up. And then I took this stencil that I have from Archer and Olive's 2022 Advent Calendar. I use this in my setup for 2024. I just like these little stars and bursts, and I thought it still worked well with this theme, so I brought it back. I promise it will not be on every page, on every theme. Or maybe it should be, because then it kind of like ties everything together. I'll think about that. As I mentioned earlier, I made a lot of mistakes, including my camera being super shaky. I use a gooseneck, and so it's hanging overhead. I don't know, my desk is also very light, so I probably just knocked it over, and that's why a lot of things were shaky in this video. I just really wanted to sit down and get this video done and get January set up so I could also use it. I don't know, I guess I was just frazzled. I slept a lot on the day that I made this, so I was pretty well rested. Maybe I was restless. But yeah, I'm also adding a few other like sparkles, stars, circles, just to add a little accents, so the page isn't totally blank. Even though I did want to keep it simple with the one firework because I didn't want to draw too many. And I based this off of an Amanda Rachel Lee tutorial. I know I reference her a lot, but I really think her way of doodling is really easy and accessible, and it doesn't make it too complicated. You'll see that I traced out a border around the image, and so I wanted to put this metallic gold washi tape I got, and you'll see I'm having trouble putting it straight, even with lines. I don't know why it's so hard. So that took me a couple times to kind of align it all together. I got this in a mystery bag from Bujo Design Studio, I think, so I'm not sure who made this washi tape. And I have a couple other glittery ones and metallic ones that you'll see. You'll see that this doesn't look great, hence my sarcastic thumbs up. I kind of found it challenging to line up the tapes together. And then I also made it too short. So this is just like the beginning of the mistakes. Eventually got it together, sort of. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then I hated it. So I took the tape off. I debated it for a while, but I did not like the way it looked. It just didn't look crisp and like straight and creating a nice border the way I wanted it to. So I took it off and I decided to go in with the silver gel pen because that one shows up more than the gold, and just trace the border with that pen. I don't know why I'm always obsessed with making borders. It's something I did last year and the year before a lot, and I just really like the way it looks. I don't know, kind of helps balance the negative space to me without looking too bare. And you'll see I also went a little beyond the border, so it's just kind of sticking out there, but that's okay. I can always go over it with a black pen and clean it up. So now I want to make sure I paste it in correctly and not upside down, because that is totally something I would do. And so I took my glue tape, and yeah, I'm also like, cool, it works so great. This is a new one. I just put in the replacement cartridge and it doesn't come out very well. And then you'll see that I actually put it in upside down because I would. And thankfully I hadn't pressed it down too deeply onto the page, or too hard onto the page, so I was able to peel it off without ruining it fully or getting it too wrinkly and putting it back correctly. I knew I was gonna do something like that, and I totally did it, even though I was like, no, you need to be careful. Moving on to the calendar, I decided to create it horizontal so I had more spaces for the boxes, because when you do it vertically, the boxes are very small and I find it impossible to write even if I have a really thin pen. For my day-to-day, I use a Pilot G2 pen, so it's not that thin. I don't like writing with a super fine tip. And so I'm going to experiment with this horizontal one. I've done this a couple times and I go back and forth on whether I like it or not. Right now I'm really into it, so I'm just going to try it out. And I brought my white gel pen to try to cover a mistake because I overextended the line. I even wrote down each of the dates with a pencil so I wouldn't go and make an extra box, but I always end up making an extra one. But that's okay, because I was going to try to decorate that empty space anyway with some washi tape, so I'll mostly cover that up. And you'll see that I started my calendar on a Monday. I'm usually a Sunday person, even though my weeklies start on a Monday. Visually, I just find it easier to keep the calendar in a traditional Sunday format. And I use that gold washi tape and it's a sparkly star one that I got from Shop Amanda Rachley. Moving on, this is a new thing for me. I'm trying to do quarterly planning. So having my habits, my goals, like specific things I want to focus on in relation to my overall 2024 goals. I want to put it here and I have it all in one space. And ultimately, I hope this will save me some time in setting up monthly spreads, because I won't have to make habit trackers every week or favorites or important dates. Because I don't have a future log, I'm going to just track it on a quarterly basis and then keep those far out dates on my phone. And so at the top are 3 goals that I want to focus on, and then key results. I'm actually modeling this off the OKR method, which is something I use at work. So the O is your objective or your goal, and then the KRs are key results, and these are the ways that you are going to achieve that goal. So like, I want to be healthier. My key results can be like, I'm going to walk 30 minutes a day. I'm going to eat more fruits and vegetables. So like actual tangible, actionable things you can do to help accomplish that overarching goal. So I want to try to implement that in my life, because that model makes sense to me after doing it for a couple of years now at work. It's pretty common in corporate environments. So if you want to learn more about actual like OKR methodology, Google it. You'll find a million things about it. And I used a black pen for important dates and then wrote over it with my white gel pen. And you'll see I have a spot for January, February, and March. Just so I can keep that in at a glance, know what's coming up, because I don't think about the whole year. I usually think about it in like half the year or in quarters. And again, even more so I think about quarters because of my job. We do quarterly planning, we do half planning. So I'm always thinking about what's happening in Q1, Q2, how that relates to my personal schedule too, depending on big projects that I have, deadlines, when I'm going to take a vacation. So I think trying this out in my personal life might actually be helpful. And then on the other side, I'm drawing these 9 boxes for habits. I'm tracking 3 habits for each month, and so 3 boxes per habit. I don't always write in the habits here because I just don't usually fill it out, but I thought I would to show this time. So I'm focusing on skincare, moving around, which basically means getting steps in, and reading. I don't like to track too many things because I think that gets overwhelming, and I honestly don't always fill these out right away. So I try to keep it to like simple things, and I can switch it up or add more as I see fit. You'll see I brought out my alphabet stamps to make the headers because I didn't really like the way I was writing everything, including the Q1 goals header. I am going to fix that with the stamp. So the bottom half is my habits and the top is my favorites. I don't know if I'm going to keep the favorites moving forward because I never fill it out on time, but it is nice to see the things that I was into that month, what I was watching, music, books, whatever, or just like random memories I want to keep track of. So I had this scrap piece of paper, which is from that Neapolitan notepad, and I cut it out, made sure it had the rounded edge, and then I'm going to take my stamps and write Q1. I'm just going to leave it there because I know that's for goals, that next section. Initially, I didn't really want to use these stamps, mostly because I hate the way my stamp pad smells. I don't know, the ink has this weird chemically smell, and it gives me a headache, so I just try not to use it. But I don't want to have to buy another ink pad because that one's still pretty new. But I think ultimately actually ended up working out. I took one of the acrylograph Archer and Olive pens in this like goldenrod color and just went over the letters just so it had a bit of a different color, kind of stood out a little more as like the main header. Then I decided to decorate the pages with washi tape. These grid ones and these star ones are from Shop Amanda Rachel Lee. And then that gold one I've been using everywhere. I'm bringing back those sparkles because it's just easy to have those accents to decorate the page. I'm honestly not sure how I feel about the washi, but I don't hate it either. I'm trying to keep it simple because this is mostly going to be filled in with like words and trackers and stuff. And now moving next is my weekly spread. You'll see there's nothing traced out here because I'm going to use black paper again. And so I'll set up the black pages first, and then I'll paste them into my notebook. In here, I decided to mostly use my white gel pen to trace out the boxes, and I'm going to be using the white gel pen to write everything in. I think for the other pages, I'm going to stick to white background and black, just because it's a little easier. I don't have to paste in things all the time. I don't want this notebook to get super thick. I already feel like I'm halfway through my notebook, so we'll see. I have these days of the week washi pens from Takti. They're a business based in Europe. I really like these days of the week ones. There's a thicker one you'll see and a thinner one, so you can choose how big you want it to be. And it just makes everything look uniform and nicely written out without me actually having to do any lettering or stickers or whatever. So it's pretty easy. My washi tape had started on a Tuesday. I think at some point I used up all the way to Monday, so that's why Monday is still blank. I realized I did not put in the dates. I went ahead and put in the washi tape, so I just decided to forego the dates. And then that long column on the far left, it will be my tasks for this month, because I didn't put it into that dashboard spread since that's quarterly and this is part of January. I took the silver glitter washi tape that I had from Archer and Olive, also from that same advent calendar. There were a bunch of washi tapes in that one that were all glittery, so I'm excited to finally have a theme to use it with. So I just decided to put that at the bottom for a border. And moving on to the other page, it looks very similar. You'll see that I ended up making 8 squares. I don't know why, because there are only 7 days in the week and this is for 1 week. So that bottom one is just gonna become a notes box. Again, not planned. I realized that after I made it, because I was like, wait, I don't need that box. And then these other 2 boxes on the far right are going to be events or things I want to call out for the week, and then things that I need to buy or replace, restock. And then I went in and added the rest of my washies and then used my gel pen to write out notes. And then adding the same silver tape on the bottom too. Then I felt like it looked kind of plain. I still wanted to kind of make the pages a little fancy, so I added some more tape. A lot of the gold washi that I've been using was the ones that I peeled back, so I just wanted to try to use those, since otherwise I would have just thrown it away. And then added some of those starry ones. And then I added a few starburst accents just to decorate the page without using so much washi. Sometimes the washi looks messy to me or looks clunky, which is why I don't know how I feel about how I used it this month, but and then bringing back my glue tape. Again, I don't know why it doesn't come out fully. I go back and forth and like liking and disliking this, but it feels a little better than a glue stick sometimes. And so then, yeah, I pasted it in and that's pretty much it. Here's the January flip through. I'm hoping, because I did this quarterly page, it'll make it really easy to set up in the future. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments and subscribe for more videos I'll be posting every 2 weeks. Thanks. Bye.